Hey everybody, and welcome back. Alright, well, as you can see, we're moving on. Well, as you saw from the title of the video, so I'll explain that in a minute. Alright, if you can hear a noise in the background, it's the tree crew from the power company with a big chipper machine chipping up what they've cut down. Of course, I'm having lots of problems with them, but there you go. So, had the trial on Sunday. It was very hot, it was humid. Didn't particularly like the sections, but then I'm fussy about sections there. I mentioned this before, the place they have it is a little river valley, well, a stream really, but it's a nice rocky stream, and they put all the sections in the woods, going round trees, over logs, off canvas stuff, trying to make turns on slopes. And it poured down on Saturday, and it was rainy. Well, I only did 2 loops of the 4 because I was tired, it wore me out. I went on the GreeBSA 250, which proved to be a good choice. You know, the Enfield would have been another £70 to drag around. So, it was alright. It was fun. A lot of gossiping. Meet friends that I only meet at the trial. So that all went well, but that wore me out Monday. Tuesday I spent gardening, which is of no interest to you at all, but anyway, I'll mention it. So, I thought, seeing as we were waiting for the piston and the RockShox, I would get the bike down and we'll do this engine this week. Then the chain will come, because it suddenly struck me, and I've looked, I haven't done a chain guard. And the photographs I've looked at, the bikes do, well, some of them do and some of them don't. Of the photographs I've found, I haven't actually found a sort of brochure, catalogue type photograph. They're all just, you know, current photographs. But there seems to be a chain guard on, and on the swinging arms there's 2 or 3 mounting tabs, so I'm pretty sure it should have a chain guard. I'm not sure actually if I've got any alloy left, so I might have to go out and get some. But anyway, what we'll do, as I say, is we'll completely strip this week, completely strip the engine this week, because I'll be able to order what I need. I was given this engine. It does turn over, but I don't know what it's going to be like inside. It is a B40. It's a distributor model. I meant to look the number up actually. It just says B40 3015. So when I go up to the house, I've got a complete list of BSA engine numbers. I'll look that up. It's painted like a grey, the head. Monoblock carb. Do you know what we'll do about carb yet? Well, actually, yes I do. I'm going to put a CV carb on. Oh, at the trial, all my bikes worked beautifully. Everybody had a great time on them. The Enfield and the B44, those 2 riders are good riders, and they were actually well up in the results. So I can get an alloy barrel for this. It's expensive, but hey, what else am I spending my money on? So we'll strip this and find out. You know, obviously we're going to replace the bearings, and this gearbox bearing we'll replace with a sealed one. You know, things like sprockets we're going to need, and another electronic ignition. So I'll strip it so that I know exactly what I need, and we can order that, and then that way, if there's any lead in for any parts, they'll be here by the time we get to it. Then the week after, we'll do I'll have a chain, put the chain on, I'll be able to see where the chain guard goes, stuff like that. There doesn't appear to be a prop stand on them. I didn't see any prop stands in the photographs, so I've been thinking about a way I might be able to put a prop stand on without having to start welding things onto the swinging arm. So we'll look at that, and then that'll be that finished. Well, no, then I'm waiting for still waiting for the piston, but we'll do that. And the week after I've got a pair, I think they're Ossa forks, and they seem to be stuck, but they have alloy fork legs and stuff. So anyway, that's roughly what's going to happen. I'm waffling. So let's get some tools out and we'll get stuck into taking this to bits. Right, we'll start with taking the top off. I've got you on the other side of the bench to see if we can video this without me getting in the way all the time. We'll use some modern tooling as well, shall we? I'm missing one rocker cover. I've taken one off, but I'm pretty sure I've got plenty of those. See, this is always the thing that, you know, I have asked. Oh, great, it won't come out. I've asked several times in the past about how much do you want me to show, but with an engine it's a bit difficult. There we go, one stud coming out. Alright, so that's off, 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 that's off. As I say, it's always difficult to decide how much to show with it, with an engine. That's coming off reasonably easily. Well, the rockers move. Oh yeah, that's not so bad now. I've moved them a couple of times. Probably just old oil. This was a friend was buying a couple of Japanese bikes off a fella, and he went to pick them up, and this was on just standing on the floor in the fella's garage, and he said to my friend, you know, are you interested in that? And he immediately thought of me, and he said, yeah. So the guy said, well, you can have it. So my friend gave it to me. The valve, the little bit of valve I can see, and the springs, this was blowing well aerosol. The springs are this bluey grey colour. A B41's the same length? Yep. One's red for the exhaust, but they're the same length. So, alright, now we need, oh, of course the thing is here, we can only, oh, these will all be, obviously we're going to ditch the distributor, put the electronic ignition in, so we'll have to make up a, oh, we'll have to make up a plug for that. Oh, I have given all these, put all the studs coming out with that one. I've given all these a squirt with Croil, but oh, now the nut's coming off. What was it? There was, I think it was a Japanese engine, one of those rare occasions when I've done one, and the nuts, could it have been, anyway, the nuts were, what was it, that Air Mackie engine? The nuts were seized onto the studs, and when the studs, when I started to get the studs out, let's say the studs were 3/8 or whatever the Japanese equivalent is. What is the Japanese equivalent of that? 10mm. But the threaded portion on the end that went into the case was like 7/16. So they wouldn't come up through here. That'll come a little smaller. Damn, that stud's turn coming out as well. which is obviously going to be awkward because we don't have room for it to come out because it's going to catch it on the rocker box. Oh, that's a bugger. Let's move it. And that one, the nut's coming off. Now I know there's a lot of people use the B40s in the UK in trials bikes, but I remember reading, and I think it was in Don Morley's book, that Brian Martin, who was in charge of the competition shop at BSA, said that they could never get the B40 engine to work well for trials. Apparently they'd even done things like redone the head and different valves, all sorts of things. So we shall see. But with the CV carb, suitably low compression piston, and I don't know whether they're full flywheels. The B40, the next B44 we do, I'm talking to you because this is pretty boring, isn't it? The next B44 we do, the B44 flywheels, if you remember, have two big holes in them. And I'm wondering if we can fill those holes with something to add some flywheel weight, because that's the one thing I noticed when I was riding it. It has all the power and everything, and it's relatively docile, but it doesn't have the tractability of the Enfield. And it's the same stroke, they're both 90mm stroke. Oh, looks as if that's coming off as well. There it goes. Jolly good. Now I have this stud to come out here. Oh! Those valves look quite nice. Take that head apart. Oh! Good job I'm scrapping this cylinder and piston. You see that? That's heavy. Now I'm not the least bit bothered about this barrel, because as I say, we're gonna get an alloy one for it. So we'll put some coil in, and I'll bring you around this side and we'll strip all that off. Getting dirty. Now I think you'd be getting pretty sick of seeing me take apart BSA engines, but here we go. See, this is a bit messy, but it's not. I have the outer chain case and it's got some damage to it. A couple of little holes which have been filled up with JB welds, so we'll clean those out and weld them up and reshape it all, so we'll do a proper repair on that. I can't remember whether, I think I took, did I? I can't remember whether I took the chain case off to get a spanner on here to see if the engine turned, or whether I got the engine with the, maybe only held on with one screw or something like that. Let me put a, bead blasting, we'll get that nice. Look at that. That looks brand new in there. It's got the lock washer in, but the tabs aren't. Done. Oops. See, it will turn over. See the chunks of stuff there. The distributor's going around as well. Well, if that will move alright like that, will this come off? Of course, don't batter on the ends of the fins with an alloy barrel. You sort of hit in and carry it up a little bit, but don't do it too much because alloy fins will break. Actually, should crawl down the stud holes as well. Let's bang that off with this. Great. There's that. Lock washer that's about completely knackered. Well, those wires were truly past their best. Oh, I'm getting a phone call. Let me turn you off. Right. That was Dick, my machinist extraordinaire friend. Okay, what was I doing? Oh, there's the thing. So the wires go out there on a B40. What is it they say? Disclaimer. I've never worked on a B40 engine before, never had one. Alright, so what were we doing? New clutch plates, of course. Oh, actually I think I have a set of clutch plates because I seem to remember when I bought the last ones, I have a set of plain plates because there was a slight mix up in the order, and instead of sending me, my god, they're worn, the worst I've ever seen, instead of sending me, you know, a set of plain and a set of friction plates, they sent me 2 lots of plain. which they very kindly didn't charge me for. So wow, the sort of splines, I guess you'd call them, on there, really nice. You know, they get, with the judder of the plates, they get an edge to them. Oh, come on. Oh, where's my big magnet gone? But these, yeah, these are really nice. Normally you've got to file them a little bit so the clutch plates don't stick in the jagged edges. But not this time. Maybe it's one of those engines that came out of a bike years and years and years ago and then has been sat on the fella's garage floor all this time. Yeah, it all really does look nice in there. Okay. No, that's too small. And that's too big. And that's just right. Goldilocks. I mean, look at that. Oh, that's been moving. See the wear mark on there. That lock washer was never locked, it's been moving. Right, so we need our I can't just keep filming this. Let me take the alternator and that off. Okay, that's got all the alternator off and the chain tensioner and stuff. So hang on, I'll do it. There it is. Oh, you see, even that's sliding off. So, alright, we'll be putting all new ones of those in. For those of you who don't know, the bearing in the BSAs is loose rollers. There are 25 of them, possibly 20. Triumphs are the same. One of them has 20, one of them has 25. I can't remember which is which. So they're like that there. So if it doesn't come off in one piece, they'll all fall out. But I always put all new ones of those in, so we're not worried about that. Very good. Put all those just to one side. Right. doesn't look too bad. Now there's a spacing piece in there. This is sort of gummed up, you know, old oil that's slowly just turned to gum and varnish. Right, the next thing is these, and these are very often, they have quite a small slot in them. Let's have another go at this cylinder. Oh, that's moving. Yeah, that's moving. Come on. There's no hurry, we can let it soak. I'm getting very dirty. Should wear gloves, shouldn't I? But I can't handle things in gloves. I suppose I could wear those latex type surgeon's gloves. But old habits die hard. Oh! My goodness. My goodness. Of course, you know what happens with these. There's 6 in here, you'll take 5 out and then the 6th one just will not come out. Oh. They are coming out remarkably easily. Alright, let me stop you and I'll just take these out. Alright, well only one of those was slightly tight. How's that? Gearbox turns, just feels a little stiff, which is probably again old oil. I'm surprised that it's a 428 chain. Tap back the lock washer. But that is stiff. Yep, that one is stiff. You get that lock washer all the way back. So I can get the socket all the way on. That's going to be our difficult one. I can see rust in there and it's quite a fine thread. So we can't take the gearbox apart. Well, we can actually. Now the clutch is off, it'll just leave that in. So I think we'll go around the other side. Okay. See, the cylinder's starting to move, so let's get that off. Here it comes. There we go. Oh, hang on. Let me. Turn it around. Let me clean my hands so I can work the camera. Right, let's see if you can see this. Can you hear it? Well, that main bearing is well shot. Alright, now this is the size. God, I've got some metal splinters in my fingers, I can feel them. I wonder where they came from. Ow. When I rub my hand out, well then. Not the first, it won't be the last. So actually, there are no screws in here at all. This looks nasty, that is really nasty. Let us see, excuse me, what we can see. That doesn't have its clamping bolt in, but it doesn't want to turn. Now don't do this at home. Doesn't have the pin in there either for that, so it's a good job we've got this engine for free, because it's probably going to cost me a little bit in parts. See, I'm not pricing on this enough to mark it, don't worry. Slippery. Nearly out. It looks a bit rusty in there. Let me work on this, just waggle it and get it off. Right, I think it was catching where the pawl goes into the or where the sprung pins go into the gear change quadrant thing, because that is completely solid in that. That is a bit rusty but not worn. These are rusty. These 3 gears aren't bad. God, there's actually nuts in there. So we'll have to see how they clean up. Camshaft has a little bit of pitting on it. They look alright. Just put them to one side so I can label which one is inner and which one is outer. And there's some play on this side as well. Pardon me, hang on, let's... Oh, that's it. What am I looking for, people? Ooh. Well, we've got to get, oh, it's got that horrible oil pump like the C15 had. Remember what a bugger that was to get in and out? Oh! A lot of soaking in rust stuff. Hang on, what have I done with my... There it is. Okay, it doesn't look too bad. The worm gear and that for the oil pump and everything looks good. Alright. Right, this nut refuses to budge. heated it, I've done all sorts. So what I've now done, I'm going to add a little brush somewhere, ready to go. That's not it. Where's the brush I had? There it is. I have drilled a hole in it. I've drilled it just where the splines, the valley of the splines are, so that I've got more space for the drill. Damaged that now, never mind. Probably need a new one of them anyway. Think what you're doing, Michael. There we go. Right, so that's off. Oh, that's hot. Yeah, I'll have to get a new one of them. Bugger. Why didn't you think about that, Michael? That's bronze. See, even the sprocket doesn't want to come off. Alright, part it up again. Let me keep working on this. Right, so the next thing is the oil pump. Lift that off. Screen. Now the next thing, of course, is the oil pump itself. Right, there's a couple of holes in the casing to get at these two outer screws. So let me get them out. So they all loosened off easily. Actually, they didn't come straight through the holes. They don't line up perfectly. So let's see if we can reach in there. That one out. Okay, that one's come through its little hole. That one doesn't want to line up with the hole in the casing now. That's screwed out all the way. Of course. Right, well the battery ran out then, I didn't realise. So you didn't see me get the pump off. It was just a matter of jiggling it out. Right, I've folded back the lock washer there. I've put a rod through the gudgeon pin. There we go.
We'll put that in there. Get a new one for there. Came off easily. Then, now this will probably have to turn this shaft there it goes. The key's starting to move. There's the Woodruff key. Bugger. There's that, and then that should just knock out of there. Or we can actually split the cases and then take that out. So we've got that off. Got everything off the other side. Let's split these cases. I'll take the bolts out and then we'll take it out of the stand. So now we can pull the drive side off. The other side, of course, is just in a bronze bush. I've got a feeling we'll probably have to put a new bush in, which means we're going to have to get clever and bore that out to the right size and bore it out straight with this bearing. But thanks to, oh god, it must be a couple of years ago, Aid, I watched you doing this with a GreeBSA 650, which has the same thing. And you set it up in the mill with the cases together so you could center it on the bearing on this side, and then you just took that off and you were able to get at the other. Oh! Oh! Look at that bearing. Can you see that? That is truly knackered. Wow. That's the spacing piece. We want to keep that. Where's that go? That's going to go in with those. Man, the bearing race, everything's just broken up. Okay. Over there. Oh, there's a shim there, look. That, as I say, just, oh, don't worry, not using that piston. Well, when you look at that, the little holes there, this lubricates by holes in there. It pumps to holes in this bush. This is why this bush has got to be a close fit, because it pumps through that and it pumps through those holes to the big end. That big end has no play in it, but I don't see any of those holes lining up with the ones in the crankshaft. Tiny little bit of rust on that. Okay, well, what we're going to do now is take the head apart and look at the valve gear and go from there. So we know why that engine was taken out of service. That main bearing was truly knackered. Let me just clean my finger and then I can touch the camera and turn the recording off. So just the head to come apart and then lots of measuring. So let me, where have all those metal shavings come from? Let me do this. I've shown it a lot of times, but I'll do it. I'll do one more valve. Okay, so valve removal tool. Now this one you can put either way around. You can put that on there, put it on there. I always like to have this bit in the valve because it'll go in the end of the valve and that'll fit in nicely. If you have this on there, then when you're turning that, there's a chance this is going to move around because it's not seated all that well. But with that end in the little dimple in the valve, you'll have no problems. So we get this bit seated there to make sure we can get at the collets, or the valve keepers as they call it here. Now let's see what's going to happen here. Right, now here it's compressing the spring easily. Sometimes it all sort of binds up. If that's the case, put a bit of pressure on and then just bang it once and you'll find it'll break the collets free. So we compress that. Use a magnet, use a little pair of pliers, use whatever you want. Take out the collets. There we go. And I always keep all these together for the particular valve. Then you let the pressure off. Valve has a cap on the top for the collets to seat into. You have two springs. There's another cap, a hardened cap in the bottom. See, this engine's been stood for a long time with oil on it. So the oil has, I don't want to wind that up with a guide, but see, the oil's sort of turned to lacquer and varnish, so that was what was sticking that up. And that's it. That's how you take a valve out. It's as simple as that. So what we'll do is we're going to take that seat out. Make sure I'm not. Boop, 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 boop. Because I'm going to bead blast the heads. Right, so that's well stuck in. Normally these just pop out. So I'll warm this head up and get them out. The little gasket comes off. That's a very flimsy paper gasket they used all those years ago. I think this is a 64. Lunchtime I was looking at some parts, and I have on the CD thing I've got BSA. The best parts book I've got is actually a Dutch, either Dutch or Danish, I can't remember. So it's nice and easy to read, but of course it's all in Dutch or Danish or whatever. The other couple of ones I've got are they're really difficult to read the part numbers. So what I'm going to do next is clean these up. I'll measure them, but also I'll put it in the valve guide. And when you put it in the valve guide, you want it to be completely clean and dry. You don't want any stiction from oil. And then you lift it off the seat and check to see if it'll rock in the guide. So we'll put that to one side. I'll take the others out. And I'll take the inlet valve out, not the exhaust valve rather. And start. The exhaust valve is bigger. That's what threw me there. So you can see this bluey grey colour is being painted for whatever reason. Right, so I'll strip that, and then all I'm going to do is sit down and make a list of everything that I think I'll need. And as you know, I'll forget things, and then we'll have to keep ordering and ordering and ordering. And then eventually we'll get down to when I'm ordering one stud or something stupid. Oh, there's my magnet thing, look. Oh. Okay, so I'm actually going to call that it for this week. Can't do anything more at the engine. I'm not going to video me cleaning things. So I'll finish off making my list. And then next week, as I said, I'll have a chain. We'll do a bit more on the ordinary Greeves. And then we'll put that again to one side. And we'll start looking. As to putting the engine into the other Greeves one, this BSA engine, I'm going to do, I think I mentioned this, I'm going to do that last. When I've got the rolling chassis, so that I know where the chain line is and, well, how to get my ground clearance and all the rest of it. So anyway, that's it for this week. So until next week, you stay safe and enjoy yourselves.